Good day, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Obstacle Discourse with Davis and Chace, and this week's special guest, Lara Pence. Or is it Laura? Or is it Lara? Or is it Lara? I forget. She told me which one it was. We'll get to that in a moment. Want to remind you that you can listen to this program every Tuesday. New episodes go up all the time on Tuesdays. I'm walking on gravel. Earlier this week on Tuesday, I spoke with Rich Harshbarger from Running USA. And Running USA is a non-profit that helps the roasting industry. That's right, the roasting industry. Not the racing industry or the road racing industry, but the roasting industry. And he and I have a nice chat, and you learn about what he does and how maybe it relates to OCR and all that fun stuff, the way that things go when people have conversations with me. Then every Thursday, we do this program, usually taped on Wednesdays by Josh and I, where we talk about news of the week. This week, we talked on Monday. As soon as he was back from the New Jersey UltraBeast, we wanted to get his opinions on that and how he did. Spoiler, he finished. Good job, Josh. But then also, we brought Dr. L on because she had some thoughts of her own. And I really like her. We've become internet buddies, texting buddies, Facebook buddies since she was on the show. Back when when I met her at Tahoe. We thought we'd get some of her insights. And hey, it went really well. Maybe we'll have her back at some point, but that went really well. So I don't think there's much else I want to say other than thank you so much to the Patreon subscribers. I think we can hit 100. I think we can hit 100 Patreon subscribers. Let's make that the new goal. Let's make that happen. Join in. We'll get rap air horns. It'll be awesome. Patreon.com/Obstacle Racing Media. You can also leave a review on iTunes. That's always nice. We're also available now on Spotify. If you already have Spotify, I want to say, like, if you've not listened to the show before, you can now find us on Spotify. But you're listening right now. But maybe you're listening from your computer. So yeah, you already listen to music on Spotify. Go ahead and add us. We're free. We're free. You don't need any kind of paid subscription to listen to this content. Let's get into it, man. A good discourse. Away we go. Welcome back to another edition of Obstacle Discourse with Davis and Chace and a future special guest. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm really well. How are you recovering, my friend?
The more I move, the better.
Right.
The less I move, the worse. So getting up out of bed this morning was a struggle, but once I kind of got semi-motivated, which was spurned on by a text message of Matt Davis way too early in the morning saying, let's go, I'm motivated, it's Monday morning, let's podcast. So I'm feeling
excited.
okay.
I get excited. I'm much like a young boy. I get very excited very easily.
Well, it's understandable because it does seem like it's like 30 days in between podcasts when in reality it's only a week. But
I think they're so darn good and they're so, chewy, then we really like them.
Chewy. That's a good adjective. I like it.
Although I have to say, I want to apologize. I was so excited to tell Josh that I had really great customer experience with my local Xfinity office because I went to turn in my cable box because they're charging me $7 a month regardless. And I was literally in and out of there. The guy handed me a receipt and I was done. And I sent it to Josh to tell him how happy I was. And he's like, yeah, but you turned your box in, man. And we'd rather have you as a box customer.
Do you think people like our back and forth cable company banter?
Josh, the audience doesn't lie. I mean, they're saying they love this show. So
that is true. I did get, I will say, probably no less than half a dozen listeners like shouting out while on the course saying, hey, I like the show. One guy that was on Discord and Reddit, he's like, hey, we talk on Discord and Reddit all the time. And so they are listening. I will give them that. So, and I apologize at times because and Matt, you have to go through this a lot because you're recognizable, obviously, but like, I apologize if I'm like buzzing from one place to another and I can only give you like the drive-by, hello, how are you? That happened a couple times only because I got to the venue really late before the UltraBeast and then was doing a million things afterwards and waiting for Molly to finish and meeting up with other people. So if I said hi in passing, I apologize, but I will gladly give you my time if I have time to spare later.
This is what happens when you're an internet celebrity.
I wouldn't go that far.
When you're an OCR internet celebrity.
There we go. I'll take that qualifier.
So, not real quick. I don't know why I said real quick. For starters, before we bring in our special guest, Josh, I want to hear, you said this was your 4th UltraBeast at New Jersey, and therefore your last. You ticked that box. You're moving on with your life. Tell us why.
Josh
just pulled a Matt B. Davis and spilled food all over his face while he was drinking.
No, I coughed. And I tried to mute it, but you might have caught the tail end of it. I don't know what's going on with this hair thing, by the way. Okay. So this UltraBeast was my best one. So I'm going to talk about my experience, obviously, because that's the only experience I know about. So this UltraBeast was my best one. I think coming into it, I was probably in the best shape. I give almost all the credit to my shoes. Wearing this pair of Hokas that I wear now, I felt like I could have run for 60 miles and been like on my feet all day without any issue. But I just feel like it's time to focus on something else. And it's not that I dislike the race or I dislike that mountain, but I think by the end of it, I was just like, those races just murder you so much that I had such a good training regimen coming into that race that I don't want that to be like sacrificed by the race. So it's going to take me a week to recover. And then that week is now I'm at Savage next weekend. And then I got to recover from that. And then I'm at Ragnar and the Boston Sprint after that. So it's like, I want to get back to that running kind of workout that I'm in. And the UltraBeasts are really, you can't really get good speed running in. Although I got to give credit where credit is due. I listened to Obstacle Dominator for like one of the first times ever because Bracken's the host now. And the first thing he was talking about on the episode I was listening to this morning is he is both simultaneously training to be a stadium pro and run an UltraBeast sometime later this year. And he says it's completely feasible. Now he's on a whole different fitness level than I am. But I accomplished it. I did probably about as good as I'm going to do unless I dedicate my life to running long distance endurance obstacle course races. But I want to work more on the running side of things and, speed and shorter courses. And that's just where my focus is going to go this year. So I'll be there at probably the regular beast next year, but I don't think I'm doing any more mountain ultra beasts.
Well, here comes a question. It's really crazy. Why not take Sunday off?
So the plan was to take Sunday off. I was not going to race on Sunday. But we had a friend that was coming in and was going to run Sunday by herself. So we didn't want to bail on her and leave her for the weekend. So we ended up going back out on the course and walking the course. And we just ran open. So kind of took it easy, obviously. The worst part is the Sunday course was where I actually got hurt. So I don't know if you saw my Instagram story, but let me show you this. That's what my leg looks like right now.
Show me gross things. People say, warning, here comes an image if you don't want to see it.
Matt, you're a grown-ass adult and you have kids. Chances are you've seen some injuries of some sort. So the best part is...
I have to bring in Lara now because you've immediately stepped on my sensibilities. And all right, I'm bringing in a professional. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Dr. L to the program. Tell everybody who you are real quickly, Dr. L. We had you on the show before, but who are you and what's your function in the world?
Yeah, what's up? So thanks for having me, first of all. I listen to you guys every week, and you literally make me laugh out loud. Like whether I'm walking or running or driving in the car, I burst out in a big belly laugh. At some point, primarily when Josh says something, and Matt, you just giggle about what he's saying. Like it's freaking hilarious. So thank you both. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So I'm Dr. L. So I'm the chief mind doc at Spartan. So I've been on board. Yeah. Chief mind doc. I mean, kind of made up term, right? But I think Dr. L, her role here, my role is basically to help provide a little bit of a framework for the mindset behind Spartan and some of the things we do, and then help to kind of flesh out some of the new programs that we have going on. So that's my jam.
So if Josh and I were in couples therapy and you heard what he just said to me, what would you say to Josh?
For showing you the gross picture?
And then when I said it grosses me out and him saying you're a grown ass man and you have kids, get over it.
Well, it's a little invalidating, but he does have a little bit of a point.
Matt, if you can't handle an image, so for anybody that's not seeing this, and most people aren't seeing it,
no one is.
So let me just
people on this call.
Well, it's on my Instagram story, so feel free to go there and look at it. And I've already got 2 people messaging me like, oh my God, what the hell did you do? So let me tell a quick story, because I think this also comes with a little learning. So as a guy, one of the things that we can easily do is step off to the side of a trail and relieve ourselves in the event of nature calling. So I took that opportunity mid-race yesterday because I was in the process of overhydrating from being dehydrated the day before. And Mountain Creek obviously is a ski mountain. So I walk off to the side of the mountain and I'm standing on the edge of the trail and I am relieving myself, not realizing that I'm standing on a boulder, which is precariously balanced on another boulder. So as I turned around after I turned around to step off of it, the boulder gave way, fell down, scraped the back of my leg. It's really bloody, but it's not like gory or anything like that. It looked a hell of a lot worse than it is. So there you go. And Matt clearly does not like the sight of me showing the picture of my bloody leg.
Listen, if I haven't said this on the show before, when Stacy was pregnant with our first child, I was really nervous because I'm extremely squeamish, and I know I'm going to be there for the birth. Now, luckily, some magic dad stuff takes over, and you can witness a child being born. You can deal with your child's poop and whatnot. It doesn't mean I'm not squeamish about everything else in the world. My wife started watching Santa Clarita Diet, which she thinks is hilarious.
It is hilarious.
Which just got canceled, by the way.
Well, don't tell her that. And
spoiler.
And I was watching it and trying to enjoy it, and I can turn my head away like a little bit. And then we got to a scene. She's sitting there in the bathroom, and she's fucking just wailing away on some guy's arm. And I'm like, just fucking no, I can't do this. I'm extremely squeamish, Josh, and don't invalidate my feelings.
Matt, I didn't know that you were squeamish. I am fully unaware that you would have any issue with that. And
but then when
sort
I
of
told
shocks
you
me.
I was, you said get over it, and no one wants their feelings invalidated. Am I correct, Dr. L?
I would say yes. And I like the way that you're circling back and asking him next time to validate your feelings. And Josh, I appreciate the way that you're observing that you didn't know. And so next time you will maybe change, but probably not.
In my defense, Dr. Lara, I'm feeling very attacked here because I was not expecting this group conversation. I feel like I've been sideswiped.
You had no idea this is why I was really coming on.
People often say, Matt, you dish it out a lot. You have to be able to take it. To which I say, no, I don't. I can be just as insensitive as I want and then cry like a baby when people step on my toes.
Mm-hmm. Each their own.
All righty. So Dr. L and I have been text buddies since your interview at Tahoe, and she had a gripe, which I thought she might bring to this program, and then Josh could weigh in because I was not there. By the way, really quickly, Josh, usually it's the other way around. Usually people like myself are like, oh, I'm totally doing the double beast day. I'm totally coming out for the sprint tomorrow, whatever it is, and then we bail. You're the other way around. You said, I'm not going to run, and then you ran. So kudos to you, but if you want to be slightly less sore for the Savage the following weekend, I would say perhaps take the Sunday off. All right. Yeah. Do we know, real quickly, do we know what the elevation gain was for the day?
I got around 12,000 total for the UltraBeast on Sunday. Now, I record with an Apple Watch, so take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, that was my total was about 12,000.
Are you a Garmin?
Just under, like 11.7.
Are you a Garmin or a Suunto person, Dr. L?
Garmin.
Me too. Fucking Garmin. All right. So how was your beast experience? First of all, congratulations. Was it your first beast or your first time doing that beast?
No, it was my second beast, but my first beast was Rough Creek, which is like flat. So like Rough Creek down in Texas. So this was my first mountain. This was my first mountain Spartan, period. And this was my first mountain beast. And it was hard. But it was awesome. I mean, I had an awesome time, but it was fucking hard. And my hands were cold and I have no idea how to warm up my hands other than to put them underneath my tights on my bare tush and run. And that just didn't seem to go very well when I was running over rocks and worried that I would fall.
The armpits, Dr. Lara. That's what I do.
Okay, because I heard that later. Yeah, did not know. We'll readjust next time. But no, it was great. I mean, it was awesome. The gripe that I have follows up on actually a conversation that the two of you had a few weeks ago about the cheating. And when I heard that episode, and Josh, when I heard you kind of, rail into it, I had so many yeses. Like, I'm walking down my neighborhood just screaming like, yes, it's so fucking annoying. People probably think I'm crazy, but to me, it just, so often you hear people say, when they ask like, well, why did you want to do Spartan? Like, why do you want to do this? And the response is often, because I just wanted to see if I could. And so then they, are proud about their medal or whatever. But if you aren't doing what you actually like, what's actually being proposed to you, if you aren't doing the obstacles, if you aren't doing the burpees when you burpee out, if you aren't, doing what actually the race is proposing for you, then you're actually not doing it if you're cheating. So stop saying that you did it when you actually didn't do it. And that, it just, to me, it's a question of integrity for these people of like, why are you lying to yourself? And obviously, like, the psychologist in me is like, how is that serving you? Like, how does that make you feel good to walk off of the course and be super pumped about your medal and super excited that you quote unquote did it when you actually, you really didn't do it? So I don't know. To me, it just, I have a question for those people. I would love to have somebody on the show who has cheated and would acknowledge cheating and talk about why they've cheated.
What did you mostly witness? Burpee skipping or just like obstacle skipping, or what did you witness specifically?
So for me, I ran age groups, so it not obstacle skipping, but burpee minimizing, right? So you come up next to somebody, or like you start your burpees, somebody comes up next to you and they start their burpees. And really quickly they get up and they start racing back down the hill, and you kind of look up and you're like, I'm not sure you did the 30. So that, that was primarily what I did witness. A few people miss the spear because I burpeed out at the spear. So I'm, and at that point I'm like, it's taking me like a minute to do a burpee. So I'm standing up and looking at other people. They miss the spear and they just run right past, but primarily it was the minimization of the burpee.
And that spear setup sadly was, you could have walked away from that. Like, they had one official, I think, overlooking the burpee pit, and you could have missed that spear and ran right by. And they just didn't have enough staff coverage to make sure it was effectively done. And Lara's right. It's like, I went down, I missed my first spear. So I go down there, and you don't know for sure that the people are like shorting their burpees. But like she said, I get down there and I don't do.
Oh, do you hear him?
Oh, no, bros.
Well, let's talk about me. Just kidding. We'll wait for him to come back.
I think, and here's the thing. Here's the other thing that I'll say. There's a few things that I have to say about this. One is, in terms of like the referee, what are they called? Referees?
Officials.
Okay. In terms of the officials, like, in so many ways, I don't feel like they're to blame. Obviously, like, they're put there to do a job. I feel like they should be trained appropriately. I feel like they should, you guys have talked about before, like, is a volunteer going to pull Ryan Atkins aside and say, hey, I don't think that you did that obstacle correctly. Like, there's an intimidation factor with some of the level of talent on the field. I feel like it's up to each racer to hold themselves accountable and to race with integrity and to leave that integrity out on the course. So that's number one. Two, I totally understand that there are some people that have physical limitations that then, they have to make concessions for some of the things that they do. I get that. I totally understand that. To me, though, it's the people who really, I heard many stories from other people who reached out to me because I commented on this on a private Facebook page, who said that, at the end they would go up to somebody and say, well, what was your time? What was your time? And then that person would say, oh, I didn't do any burpees, and sort of laugh at them knowing that they had failed the obstacles, as if it was like they were almost proud of cheating themselves out of the experience. So again, I just have to sort of ask, like, why are you there? Like, really, what is your intention of being there? And how do you hold yourself accountable and work from a position of integrity when you know that you're lying? You know that you're not being honest about it.
Well, I have a couple of questions here. So, what is the difference? Because part of me always thinks there's a lot of people who are just like showing up, like for the day, right, and aren't whatever. How much more expensive is age group over open?
It's not that much more. It's like $25, $35 maybe.
Right. So I know there's a certain percentage of people who are Joe Blow from the office, didn't hear the rules, don't care about the rules, know something about burpees. They're with their friend. They bang out 7 or 8 and go, are you done? Yeah, me too. Let's move on. Right. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to say that. But let me ask you this. I'm so happy that we have the good doctor with us, because a conversation that gets, bandied around a bit around people that call themselves like elite obstacle racers, right? And like, we say there's a word we throw out a lot. I think it's like, well, that guy's delusional, right? But that's like delusion is a real what do you call it? Is a real like
psychological state.
Right. Yes. Mm-hmm. So if I go to like, I just, somebody follows us on ORM and I click like, you see who it is, and I don't do it all the time, but like, and I see Joe Schmo, elite obstacle racer, because he qualified for NORAM or OCR or whatever. And then he puts, that he's sponsored by fucking Caterpie or whoever he got a 20% discount from. And I'm like, does he really think he's an elite obstacle racer? Like he knows he's not as good as as Ryan Atkins, who doesn't put elite obstacle racer on his account, nor does anyone who's not elite, right? So that's my question, is like, when you're saying, how does this serve you? Like, is it so he can tell his friends that have no idea about OCR? Like, why is he creating, we can all try to do better. We can all brag about our medals. Like, I'm not, Josh posts a big ultra finish. Awesome, Josh. Good job. But the people that call themselves, what do you say about that, Doctor?
Yeah, I mean, I would totally say that for most of those people, they're coming from a position of wanting to either be accepted or wanting to have attention or wanting to be unique in a world where not in anything, like in a sport, in a field, in an arena where not everybody can do, right? And I mean, so it's unfortunately a false boost for self-esteem, because at some point in time, right? Like, I can totally think of when I was a kid, maybe there was a time when I inflated something to like make myself feel a little better, right? But then it's like somebody gives you attention for that and they're like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Good job. But at the end of the day, it actually doesn't feel that good, because you know that you bullshit your way about it, right? So for those people, I think it's a way to get attention. I think it's a way to feel more special, feel more loved. But I hope that those people who are listening will realize that, like, at the end of the day, that actually doesn't work. Like, it actually doesn't, because if it's false, if you're getting attention for something that's actually false, then it's actually not serving you. And you're going to feel it eventually, whether it's in that moment or later on when you feel like a fraud.
Yeah. And again, I want to say, listen, I'm someone who's on social media a lot for personal and professional. And what is the point of, any Facebook post, or not any, but a lot of stuff, if not two, it's some form of, hey, look at me. Like, so I get that. I'm not above that whatsoever. However, this tails right into it used to be just email signatures, but now it's people's LinkedIn profiles that are like this long. I'm a change agent, and I'm a what do you call it? What's the person that speaks at the end of a conference? I'm a keynote speaker.
Right,
yep. Which, by the way, used to mean something, right? Like, if you were but now it's like, dude, I could keynote this, right? I'm keynoting Davis and Chace right now. And like the 7 mile, and I always say, I don't think Steven Spielberg's like email address looks like that. You know what I mean? Or, like, I think it just says director, right? Like, he's cool with that. So, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't even know if that's a good example, if it's the right perfect, but you know what I'm saying?
No, but I think that's that's exactly the right example, because it's like Steven Spielberg. I mean, I don't know, never met the guy, but he probably just knows from a position of integrity that he doesn't need all that stuff, because he actually is a legitimate director that have won Academy Awards and like produced shit, right? So then it's like, but if you have this other pocket of people that are trying to inflate their ego and trying to inflate their position and contribution, they're going to add as much of that stuff in to attempt to make that happen. But again, like the point is, it actually does not work. Like it just doesn't, because first of all, people like you and me and Josh and a whole bunch of other people see right through it, right? But second of all, when it lands on you, when you get that attention, when you get those compliments, when you get those accolades from somebody, it eventually feels fraudulent. Like that's what it just eventually.
But if we all know the emperor has no clothes, right? Why is it 98% of LinkedIn?
Because society is a little ill.
That's pretty funny. And actually, when I just scrolled through some of the most popular like OCR elite athletes, the actual ones, and all of them will list like, Spartan Pro Team member, and that's a valid accolade. And all of the ones that list elite OCR athlete, not a single one has been on a podium anytime. So
exactly.
It's just, it really is a little bit of.
Nope. Every time Josh has a really good point, he freezes. I think there's, I think we should combine our loves, Dr. L. We should do like a paper, right? And have it published somewhere.
I am totally on board with that. Yeah. I mean, to me, our world is getting, like our society is getting, we're getting so attached to the idea of labeling ourselves all the time through all this stuff. And it just, it's our way of one-upping, right? It's like, it's not good enough to run age group. Now you have to run elite, and now you have to say you're elite, and then you have to get a sponsor and wear the gear. And we're constantly trying to demonstrate that really, like the bottom line is, and this may sound cheesy, but we're constantly trying to demonstrate that we're good enough. So, people just need to chill a little bit and like try and be real about where they are and meet themselves where they are, and then elevate themselves from the inside, not by trying to get all that stuff from the outside. That's my therapist's point of view.
Hey, Josh, you cut out whenever you have a good point, so I apologize. I don't know if you know that we missed that.
That's okay. It's just not working for me today. It's Monday morning, so this is why we record on Tuesdays. My internet's clearly we record on Wednesdays. Jesus Christ. My point is, don't be something you're not.
Well,
Totally.
but I feel like, this is for the people that we think need to hear this or whatever. It's like, well, she's not talking to me, right? They're not.
Yeah. A lot of people probably won't necessarily hear this in the way that we would want them to hear it initially. But I also think that I don't know, maybe this is like the witchcraft in me, hoo-ha-ha. But I do think that like at an energetic body level, like we know when something's off. We know when we know when we are not in integrity.
All right.
Our body knows it.
All right. Well, then I got to get back to, we'll get personal. And we've talked about this. I've talked about it multiple times. I know I mentioned it to you about that. My daughter has a YouTube channel and an Instagram channel. Mm-hmm. And how I thought it's this kind of like, false, phony, like kind of, basic biatch. Hey guys, did this today. And that Emma on her own is hilarious. Like she's right. And I wanted to change it. Stacey said, you got to let her be who she is. And I know Stacey's right, yet it's like starting to really like bug me, like really bug me. And so it's like someplace in her knows that doesn't connect, but she's either going to grow out of that or not. Because it's not like I can continue to be a good role model, be a loving person that, that produces X amount of self-esteem. But at the end of the day, she's on her path. Yes. Mm-hmm. She's about to turn 12. So there's nothing that can be done at this point. Right.
Well, I wouldn't abandon all parenting efforts altogether. But no, I think she is on her path. And I think, unfortunately, she's on a path where she actually could be incredibly rewarded for not being who she is because of social media.
Right.
So she could, she could go down a path of of feeling like she's only liked and lovable because of this person that she's showing the world.
Right.
But I mean, she's got a dad who obviously is going to tell her otherwise, that the part of her that's lovable and completely adored by the world is this other part.
Right. And actually, this is the first time I felt odd talking about her, because now that she is like old enough, because I talk about my kids a lot and put them on camera a lot, but not that she's going to listen to this episode per se, but that like she's a person in the world. So I'm going to have to look at that, I guess, as I get older too. But let's come back to let's see if we can get old Jody to fund a study on people and athletic accomplishments and social media and like where they lie. Like Josh's point, right? The top 1% don't do that, and the people who are like 25th to 50th best in the world do that. Right. And if it's across all sports.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that's interesting is that, I mean, of course, obviously, like I don't want people to mistake that what I'm saying is that I don't want you to be proud of your accomplishments. Like Josh just did the ultra, I just did the beast. Like I haven't posted anything yet, but I probably will. And I'm excited that I did well in the beast like that. I'm excited about that. And I'm proud of that. But I'm also not going to, like you said once too, which I think was hilarious. I'm not going to put like, I got 5th. No, I got 5th in my age group of 40 to 49, So it's like, I want to be in integrity by being proud of myself, because I am, but I also want to be realistic about, that like, I don't want to be fraudulent in what I'm expressing to other individuals.
You're not going to go put age group Spartan competitor on your Instagram profile now?
I'm not, but maybe I will, just for shits and giggles after this conversation.
Will you compete in Tahoe, by the way?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, probably not.
Because you just qualified for, right? Didn't you qualify, Josh, as an age grouper for Tahoe? If you're top
Was she
5,
top 10?
Were you top 10 in your age group? There might not have been 10 people in your age group.
No, there were, but there were more than 10, and yes, I got 5th. No, but I am going to run North American in West Virginia. I don't even know what it's called, because it doesn't really matter all that much, but I thought it would be real fun to race somewhere where there's like a lot of stuff happening, like I like that energy.
Right.
But no, I would probably not race Tahoe, primarily because I was really fairly miserable on Saturday. And I want to enjoy Tahoe.
Sorry to question. Here's a question I had. Josh Chace, you did the UltraBeast.
Yep.
At some point, they turned off the dunk wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
They did. First off, Matt, Technology Corner, this meeting thing says we have less than a minute to go. Should you be concerned about that?
Yes, I'm about to upgrade because you guys are worth it.
I'll wait till you fix this problem.
No, go. Keep talking. It's going to happen while we're talking.
So yeah, the elite and age group ultra beasters went through the dunk wall, and I think the elite and age group beasters also went through the dunk wall as well. And then they shut it down at about, from what I heard, about 10:30ish. It wasn't overly cold. Like going into it, we knew it was going to be like 45ish for the day. Mm-hmm. Not a ton of sun or anything like that. And the problem was, after the dunk wall, you went up the mountain, and then the areas we were on were just super exposed. So the wind was whipping through. At that point, it was extremely hard for me to get warm again. Like my hands and my grip from that climb up the mountain were just beat. I failed the rig after that because I just couldn't get my hands warm again. Mm-hmm. And then at that point, I guess, the either not competitive or the later group of competitive racers were dropping out of the race because of hypothermia. You've got people shivering, obviously. So they shut down the dunk wall. They also shut down the pond traverse up top, where you just kind of skirt through the edge of the water. For me, it wasn't bad. It's like knee high, but for most people that are not 6'5", it's like their belly button is in the water. So I did not mind that. And the second lap when I came down, but the funny thing was, it was colder and rainier yesterday on Sunday, and the dunk wall was open all day. They're just like, sure, whatever, go ahead and do what you want. And there were people going through it. And same thing later in the race, there were just people out there like shivering. I don't know how people race with like shorts and no shirt on, but there was a ton of them out there yesterday, and they were just trudging along on that mountain. So,
well, the few times I've run shirtless fans of this show will know my history of running shirtless. When it's not freezing, you do in fact dry off quicker. Like I know that. Mm-hmm. So, but I've never done it when it's that cold. Like I did it one time, I think in the 50s, and I was freezing when I went into a dunk. This was at Hard Charge, RIP, and I went into a dunk wall. They just had basically like Arctic Enema, and when I came out, I was freezing. But then I did like, there's nothing keeping the water on you. But when it's that cold, I would think it would be really bad.
Yeah, I can't. I couldn't even imagine running without a shirt on Saturday.
Just again.
Yeah.
What's that? What did you say?
I was just because she just said just again. I was just saying I can't imagine running without a shirt on Saturday. I get cold all the time, so I have to be long. I had sleeves on. I had gloves when I needed them. So the people that can do it, good for them. But I'm pretty sure Ryan Atkins even had a shirt on. So, or at least his lap leader bib.
Yeah, he had his little tank top on.
Yep.
I think too, the thing that made it really hard was like after the dunk wall, you went right up, you climbed up the mountain. So unless you're, Ryan Atkins and Rhea Coble and Lindsay Webster, you're barely jogging, mostly walking, and you just couldn't get warm. I mean, it was hard.
That doesn't sound fun at all.
I mean, fun is a subjective word, I suppose, but no, not very much.
Yeah, UltraBeasts are the borderline between. Fun is definitely not the word, but it's about achievement and perseverance. And somebody used that word yesterday with Molly, and we brought that up in conversation. And it really, unless you are the top tier, legit competitive athlete, it's about surviving in UltraBeast, I think, for most people. And I think that's what, when you look at Instagram today and you see everybody's posts about completing the UltraBeast, probably the one most, used term will be, I survived it. And I think that is an achievement for a ton of people. I mean, for me, I would still say I survived it. Like it took me 11 and a half hours or 11:46. And that to me was still surviving. Like I consider myself barely getting through that race because at the end of it, I was just absolutely, there was nothing else I could have done by the end of that race. So
like, I'm curious, at the end of the race, I mean, were you able to actually get herc hoist and rope climb? Like, did you have anything left in the tank?
So I completed Twister on the second lap, which was surprising to me because it was 3 sections of Twister.
I know.
I completed the herc hoist, which generally the herc hoist for me doesn't necessarily present much of an issue. But I failed the rope climb. I would get 2 pulls up and I just could not get that third and final pull. And I'm going to make an excuse for a second. I was wearing different shoes that were more about running and being comfortable running than better grip. So I think they had a little bit of an issue. But yeah, I climbed up that rope 3 times and I got to a point where there was physically, if there was a fire underneath me, there was no way I would have been able to get up to that bell. So I had to do 30 sad burpees at the end of the race before I climbed to the finish line. Which brings up one more point about the lying and the cheating. There are some people that like will get up to the top or get to the very last monkey bar, but they don't hit the bell. And then I hear them say as they run off, close enough. No, not close enough. You didn't get it. I get it. I was there. The monkey bar, I like swung and missed the bell, but I did the penalty.
That's actually that's a great question about obstacle completion, Lara, because you're tiny and old. How do you?
Well, I guess we've just lost her as a guest.
No, but I got put in the older age group and I couldn't tell you how excited I was. I was like, yes, I'm 40 to 44.
Yeah, that's where I am. I'm 39 today, but I raced 40 to 44. And
39 today?
Yeah.
No way.
No, it didn't. It's not my birthday today. I'm just saying as of right now, I'm 39, but because of these Spartan rules, I turned 40 in October.
Oh, okay.
But now I race 40 to 44 all year. So
totally. Okay. Anyway, Matt, sorry, I cut you off.
Well, I was just, oh my God, look at that coffee cup. Hang on, I have to get a picture of this. Bring it to your mouth again. That is amazing. Oh, wait, I've got a stupid shit. Hang on. What does that say? Hang on. Do you make reminders for yourself and you have no idea what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. It's not a very good tactic, but I do it. Do you still want me to keep holding my coffee, Matt?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
I was wondering too. He didn't tell you that you were fine.
So you're what? Are you 5'2"? How tall are you?
I'm 5'8".
We were sitting down when I saw you. I don't remember these things.
Yeah.
So then you're good.
I'm not sure.
So then you're not tiny and old. You're a good size.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually pretty tall and quite young.
So at 5'8", Lara, did you have any issue with that CargoNet Plus Irish table thing where you have to hop up onto the Irish table before getting over the vertical CargoNet?
No, not at all.
No issue? Okay.
No.
What about was the box there?
The box was there.
Mm-hmm.
How did you do on the box, Josh?
I killed the box. Actually, once I learned how to do it, it was incredibly efficient.
So you failed it in Florida, but you passed it in.
Yep. Both days, both times. It was pretty easy.
Yeah. Well, I have yet to do the box because I haven't done a Spartan obstacle race this year. I have done a Spartan trail. It was quite fun. Maybe one day I'll do a Spartan obstacle race.
Maybe
you can come to Savage, Maryland next weekend, Matt. We could run Savage.
I am going to the Warrior Dash in, I forget the name, Tennessee, and we will be making a rad Warrior Dash video. Jeff Marie and I will be heading up there. Pulaski, Tennessee, home of the World Championships, back when they had those in 2015.
Pulaski.
That's where I will be. When are you racing next, Doctor?
I'm doing. Well, I secretly signed up for Chicago in June, but I haven't told my husband yet. So hopefully he's okay watching the kids.
That sounds very healthy.
Yep. We've got a fantastic communication style.
Well, keeping lots of secrets, always good.
Yeah. Yep. Until you're ready to expose and make it sound totally doable. And, I just have to set the plan in place. So, but definitely I'm doing Fort Carson in July down in Colorado.
Okay. And what about you? So Josh, you just said, what did you say your next 3 races are?
So I'm doing Savage next weekend. I'll also be in Chicago, Dr. Lara, so make sure we say hi.
Okay, now I have a reason. Now I'll propose the reason to my husband and it'll go over easily.
And then the weekend after that is Ragnar Cape Cod and the Boston Sprint, which is at 508 International, which is where our toughest mudder was up here last year. So check out that new venue, and I don't know what the hell happens after that.
So Boston Sprint, also known as Western Mass Sprint?
Yeah, the Boston Sprint 2.25 hours outside of Boston. But then again, the Chicago Super is not in Chicago at all. It's actually closer to Wisconsin than it is Chicago. So,
all right. Well, I think everybody should have a great day. I really enjoyed this.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Sure. If a lot happens in the OCR world, which could, Josh, we'll text each other and we'll hop back on because maybe something crazy will happen and we'll have to record again on Wednesday.
I'll be here.
All right. Have a great day, everybody, and a great week.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, that's it, and that's all. Another great episodes of the Discourse. Hey, join us on the Discord. I know you're like, what's that? What the heck is the Discord? Well, find out. bit.ly/OCR Discord. Find out about what it is. Why do we keep chatting about it? What's the deal? What's the Discord with the Discourse? I don't know. Just get on there and join us. Josh built that network himself from the ground up, and it's become a great place to chat about all things obstacle racing. I think there's a Game of Thrones chatter channel in there now. I didn't ask for that one, but if you like that, but we talk about every race there is. We talk about the industry as a whole. It's just a fun chat. Maybe you're tired of Facebook. Maybe you're tired of the way a lot of those conversations go in the groups you've been in. Well, this is unlike that. This is a new group, a new coming together. It has a very different vibe than Facebook, and it's a lot of intelligent discourse and fun and joking, and, well, just hop on in there. Thanks so much for listening. Hey, Patreon, don't forget, this is the time. This is the day. You've been saying it. You've been a fan for a long time of all this free content. You've been saying, you know what? When's the day that I'm going to do it? I think today's that date. Go to patreon.com/obstacleracingmedia. Love you, miss you, mean it. I've got to run.